Coach, just initial thoughts, 38-7 win. The offense comes out firing. Defense continues to do what it's done all year.
Well, I'm proud of their efforts, and the best part of it is it was a hard-fought win. I know Colorado State played a complete game, and they weren't just going to shut it down in the second half, and there's still a lot to learn. We still didn't play a complete game. You'd like the second half, to keep firing and do some things, but there's a lot that we continue to learn from winning football games, and I think that's a good thing. Now when you're 3 games in, you really start to reveal who you are. And, offense can have its moments. We weren't as good as we need to be up front to win big games. And as we get into Pac-12 play here, that's got to make sure it's something that we firm up. But when you play with effort, you care about each other, and you do the little things, you can win a lot of games. So we're stay 1-0 mentality and excited to get this win.
Talk about Jaden Hicks a little bit. Makes his first career start and does so in style. 10 tackles, a pick, a thunderous pass breakup. Just what did you kind of see from him kind of stepping into that moment?
Yeah, and it isn't just one thing that Jaden does. It's just the collective of what we think he can be. And he's shown flashes of it the last 2 years. And to go out there in the moment, I knew he was ready. And the best part is, he hadn't played strong safety since the first week of fall camp, right? To do that on a week, it's just special performance. But that's the expectation that we have for him, and I think that's what he's capable of doing. And I think he showed that, and he played with extreme confidence. He wasn't perfect. There's a couple of things that he can learn from, but just excited with the upside of Jaden Hicks.
How cool, at least for you as a coach, was that all that for Cannon? He gets the 6 carries and then punches in at the end. No, he's been through a lot on and off the field. Just for you as a coach, how special is that moment?
For Cats, it's special. Something hopefully he'll never forget, because when guys work that hard and they sacrifice themselves for the betterment of the team, but I've seen it, right? He used to terrorize us on scout team, and I'd call him cutback Cats, and we couldn't control him. And every scrimmage, he pours his heart in there. So to get that opportunity and carry the ball like that is inspiring, not just for me, but for that locker room full of guys that are just so happy for him and what he accomplished. So a lot of people say he couldn't play in the Pac-12. He went out there and did it and scored a touchdown. That's pretty special.
What can you say about Deion Henley, 13 tackles and 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles? He's really kind of impacted every part of the game for the last three weeks.
I would say this. There's a lot of emotions for Deion, and I was nervous coming into the game. But he did a good job of handling those. And I've been saying this since I've seen him, and I've seen some high-level linebackers. He's the most athletic I've been around. And when he plays within himself, making the plays that are there, and I think Coach Ward is doing a good job of getting them in great situations to rush the passer, which he excels at. I mean, we can get a one-on-one for Deion, look out. So he's out there making plays. He's playing hard, but he's understanding team defense too. He's done a good job of fitting in within our group and doing his 111th, and that will linebacker spot has always been one to be out there to make a lot of plays, and he's made the plays.
How pleased were you with the defensive front's ability to kind of capitalize on their shorthanded O-line and get some pressure back there?
I thought it was good. I can't wait to see the film on just finishing a couple of those. I think RJ was a step away from probably 4 of them. So it's good to get in those type of situations, because we have to be able to rush the passer in the Pac-12. I mean, we're going to see some explosive offenses here, and we got to be able to do that. So I'm happy with it. I'm excited to see where we can grow in some of those situations. I thought there was some lulls a couple times in the second half, but for the most part, without looking at the stats, I thought they did a good job causing disruption. And once again, 11, I give credit to their quarterback. He stands in there, he takes hits, and he keeps going, and that's a sign of a great competitor.
How kind of ideal was those first 4 possessions from the offense? What was kind of the key to getting it moving like that and opening it up like that?
I know we felt like we could do it. We talked about it. We had it on our scouting report all week, start fast, right? And we had to be ready to burst out the gate, and that was about our energy and what we can control, and we felt like we had a good game plan coming in. Now it's about the maturity of sustaining that over time. And like I said, there's going to be a lot to learn from that. Our offensive guys came out of the last 2 games really, really hungry to get better and to show what they're capable of doing. And, I think it's about a half full, half empty, and we got to keep learning and growing and getting better. So it is what we're capable of doing. We can be explosive. We can take the ball down the field. We just got to make sure we're doing it all together for full 60 minutes.
And on that, kind of just initially the progressions you saw from Cameron Ward from first 2 weeks, how's he settling in, especially in that first half?
Well, it was electric to start the game, and I think Cam, just in our meeting this week, he was very confident in the plays and what we could do, and to get some tempo and a rhythm to the offense. That's what you saw, and that that happens to give him tempo and rhythm and his reads and his keys and his signals. So there's a lot of things that just felt that really progressed the right way. But still comes down to a couple decisions that we got to be better, especially in the second half. So once again, he's going to be the first one in the building tomorrow and expecting to want to play better and find ways that he can grow. So that's what I'm most excited about, and we'll get back to it come Monday.
Coach, you talk about there's a lot to learn still. Can you just touch on what you feel like you have learned specifically in this game and what you want to take away, carry into Pac-12 play?
Well, I think you look at the first half on offense and you say this is the way we can play. When every man does their job, when we put ourselves in good situations, I think you start to take away, okay, this is what we do when we're all doing our job. This is what we're capable of. Okay, and then you see the second half, and this is what happens if we don't. So you take those learns, and then defensively, I just think they keep playing to an effort level that has to maintain over the time. And I'm really proud of those guys because, Jordan Lee didn't play, Travion Brown didn't play, Derek Langford was limited in this football game. So it's next man up, and that's college football, right, at this level. And there's no excuses. They had people injured, we had people injured. The next man's got to be ready, right? And this is going to be a long grind of a season as we continue to go through. So just really happy where we're at through 3 games. And I don't know if there's a lot of people besides that locker room that thought we could be where we are right now. And that's a fun place to be, but it's not the end of our journey, and we're excited for conference play next week.
Hey, Coach. First of all, great win today. What has been most impressive thing on that defensive front? Obviously, that pass rush getting 7 sacks today. What has been the more surprising, more impressive thing from that defensive front?
I don't necessarily think it's just one guy. It isn't just RJ. It isn't just Brennan. I mean, it's been some interior guys. It's been Quinn Roth. It's been a collective of guys that have been out there and doing it. I mean, I saw Lawrence walk a guy back into the quarterback today. So, and it's been mixing and matching some pressure packages that have been really effective. And that was the number one thing, I said to Coach Ward is we got to be better at getting after the passer, and through first 3 games, we've really checked that box. And we'll need to continue to do that as we go. But I think it's putting our guys in the best situations to make plays and cutting them loose a little bit.
Coach, I know you talked a lot about kind of finishing offensively, not there in the second half, but it's got to be nice to see the offense come out humming the way they did in the first half, I'd imagine.
It's great. It's absolutely great. And like I said, I've seen them do it. And I think it creates a confidence, that there's a belief in each other that they can go out there and get it done. So we started fast. It's exactly what we needed to do in this football game. I'm proud of what those guys and the work that they've put in, because a lot of times that's a mature person to look in the mirror and say, hey, we need to get better at this. And they've taken it to task. They've prepared their tails off during the week, and to have them go out there and see the results is a really positive thing.
That's nice. And I know you've talked a little bit about the sacks getting to the quarterback, but as a defensive background guy, what's it like to see your defense perform the way they did today?
Our defense has been great. And like I said, I give a lot of credit to the coaches to maintain it. And our defense is hungry, right? And they want more, and they're humble, and they don't care who gets the credit, and they're celebrating together. And those are powerful things. It isn't just talent. And we'll be tested, as we go throughout the Pac-12 schedule. I mean, there's a lot of great offenses there, but just happy with those guys not being satisfied and not listening to all the hype. It's just going out there and working, and that'll take you a long way, and that's a good mentality that those guys have.
Alex, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, last year you were 1-2 in non-conference play, the first 3-0 start since 2019. You talked about not many people probably expected you to be here at this point. Just where is the confidence of this group right now as you're entering the Pac-12 play?
Well, I think it's continuing to grow, and just each one stacking up. Each one is where we want to be, and I think they've been bought into the mentality of not looking at the big picture, and now that's going to, it's going to be really important as we go forward to make sure we're taking these things one game at a time. So I think the locker room has bought into our coaching staff, what we want to do, how we want to do it, and that's going to be important as we continue to go through a tough Pac-12 schedule. I mean, it's loaded in there, right? So we're excited about starting that journey come Monday.
Paul, go ahead.
Coach, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Obviously, very similar defenses with the crazy amount of Nevada connections, but how important was it this week mixing up the looks on defense to get pressure on the quarterback, running games?
I think it was important, and we still always talk about stopping the run, but at the end of the day, we want to make sure we cut those guys loose and cut the front up and mix and match coverages, and I thought, even Shep playing some free safety did a really good job of, not giving away disguises, and we controlled the vertical pass game. Okay, that was the biggest emphasis, that we had coming into the game. So I thought Coach Ward and Coach Malone and Coach Brown did a really good job emphasizing that, and that is an explosive down the field deal, and our D-line did a good job of helping those guys out.
Love it. And how about Ollie? Really coming into his own today. 8 catches, 82 yards.
Yeah.
How exciting is that?
Yeah, and I think Don's, one of those guys that's been working hard to kind of see those results and that success. And, Don and Strib on those edges, they got to be big body wide receivers and take the ball down the field and make some plays after the catch. And, I was happy in that first half. We did a good job of really playing off script and hit some big ones as we found some seams off of scrambles. So Don's been part of that, but I think there's a toughness aspect that our receivers are buying into that I think is really important for their success in the future.
Love to see it. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach, on offense, it seemed like you guys were using a lot of hurry up and getting up to the line quick, especially after some of the big plays. What can you say about that?
We want to play with tempo, and I just think going into this game, it allowed us to do it. I think we did it at times in Idaho. Last week against Wisconsin, we wanted to play kind of a slower pace game and limit possessions. But it's the rhythm that we need, and you need big plays to tempo, right? You need positive plays to keep, your offense moving forward. So we want to keep people off balance. We want to make sure they can't sub. We want to try to keep, wear them down a little bit, and that's what tempo does. So been proud of our offense, though, through 3 games, being able to run the clock out 3 straight games and have some success that way and be able to play with a little more tempo today, I think, was a positive thing.
Thank you, Coach.
Last one. Go ahead.
Robert Farrell, coming back from injury this week, he has that connection with Cam Ward. What do you think was his impact on this game?
And Robbie was limited. We wanted to keep him to about 15 snaps this week, but I think he's going to have an opportunity to really give us another speed body inside that we can really go with. And I'm excited to get Robbie back as a returner because I think that's where he specializes in. And, so he had kind of a freak foot deal this summer, and it's that's where we should be. And I know those guys got a lot of chemistry on and off the field, and Robbie can be a big playmaker for us as we continue throughout the season.
Coach, how important is a big win like this heading into conference play?
I think they're all big. I think they're all big. But to be where we're at, a collection of 1-0s going into it, I think it's a confident group and allows us to really just maintain our messaging of what we want to do. So, and like I said, I don't know how many people expected us to be at this point, but it's a step in our journey of where we want to go. And we have a dang good football team that's going to be coming in here next week for Pac-12 play. 1 p.m. kick, national TV, and I want our fan base to show up. This is going to be a big-time football game, okay? And I want those seats full, okay, because our guys deserve it. And they're working their tail off. They should be proud of how they played for the first 3 games. And, like I said, I'm just excited to see this atmosphere that's going to be like at 1 o'clock, right? If you're anywhere in the state of Washington, you're a coup, you need to be here, okay? And the students are going to pack that place, and it's going to be loud. And the students caused the red zone fumble, right? Those guys impact the game, right? And that's what we're trying to build here. And it's a process of everybody, So our guys are playing their tail off, and I can't wait to get Pac-12 play started, but you only do it one at a time.